It's like my old 96 camera in here, man. You gotta love it. Whoops. You gotta love it. That is an electrical gremlin. These windshield wipers have a mind of their own. I'm gonna have to fix that joint up. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Yo. And it comes right up. So you just pinch the udder and you bring it out. And here you go, man. GM's infamous udders on the C5 Corvette. Infamous, bro. And this is really what was causing my windshield wipers to go crazy, because this stuff, look how much debris and stuff is in it. It's backed up in it, and then it floods out that whole cowl area where the windshield wiper motors are, and just makes them go crazy because they're just soaked in water. Last time I checked, I don't think electronic components are supposed to be soaked in water and expect them to work the right way.
3-pedal Fred.
I'm actually doing 4 things today on top of finishing up the transmission, but this weather strip also needs to be replaced. This rear weather strip that the Targa mounts to, rear roof weather strip, and it's notorious for going bad. Once again, man, the car is old as hell, so, but ask me how I know this weather strip is bad, because it took me, the girlfriend, and the car to a car wash, and car wash also washed the inside of the Corvette. But literally right here, you can see how it's ripped. This is literally where we had jets of water spraying into the car as the window is up and as the roof mounts to these 2 weather strips. Now I'm sure I'll have to replace more weather strips in the future, but this one is the definite one that has to go first, because it is the one that is evidently leaking as well. It's evidently leaking, obviously, and it even looks fried up here too, man. This whole piece looks missing. You see how there's a piece that comes all the way up here? There's dips in it right here. Like, all that stuff is missing. It's shrinking a little bit. It's just really weathered, man. It's really beaten up. Really weathered, no pun intended. And last thing too is that I have to clean my udders. I have all the notorious Corvette things, man. I literally have all the notorious, I left my Corvette outside for 2 years. I've had it for 25 years, but I never drove it type stuff, type of issues. It's like my old 96 camera in here, man. You gotta love it. Whoops. You gotta love it. That is an electrical gremlin. These windshield wipers have a mind of their own. I'm gonna have to fix that joint up. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Yo. But let me stop rapping. That's enough talking. Let's get to work. We are going to start off with taking this weather strip off. Something to hold the screws, and then we'll knock it out. And there should be some old adhesive still stuck on there, so you're just gonna have to clean it off. These are also very, very helpful. These little screw holders, well, they're helpful if your stuff is magnetic. I mean, it's helpful in general, but it's especially helpful if your stuff is magnetic. So first of all, we'll take these off. Real small. Slow and steady wins the race. Man, I wonder when these screws have last been taken off. Looks like they've been there forever, man. It's like a historic relic. Almost lost that screw. But not today, not today, Satan. See if we can get these clips off. Oh yeah. Trying to pull it off without just yanking it off. Pulling it from the front, this section here, I do want it to come off as one piece. See where the adhesive is? You could tell where it's still glued. Here's your rib that I was talking about. Outside rib and inner rib, or whatever combination you wanna say. And yeah, man, the rest just comes up. All right, guys, so not too bad. As you can see, oh, as you can't see, let me get the light. You see there's adhesive here. All right, man, we got some fishing line here. So we did remove the weather strip. Oh, let me, my fault, guys. So the weather strip is off. Like I've been saying, the two major areas of adhesive are like the two top corners and the two bottom corners right here. So we're gonna try to get this, get that cleaned up as much as possible before we apply any more adhesive. And here's what we were working with, guys. This is the old weather strip, and this is the new weather strip. It's a replica, so it's not a GM part. It's not a GM part. OEM. The OEM's GM part should come with adhesive already on the corner. So you see right here where it's flat, these areas and these areas, I imagine is really where you're going to be gluing it. That would make the most sense, right? Like if you're going to be applying adhesive, you want more surface area so it can actually stick. And the rest of the ridges will go into the ribs of the mounting bracket. But anyway, I'm gonna pause on that real quick because I'm gonna have to clean it. So I want to clean all this stuff at the same time. So we're gonna go over to debadging the car, and we're gonna be using a fishing line. So we have the wire, we have the fishing line here now. And like I said, if you have a newer vehicle, you would heat up the emblems to loosen up the adhesive, and that's what you use to kind of get off. But since mine's already crumbling and falling apart, we might be able to get it without it. And you just proceed like so, man. The line is thin, so it's a little bit sharp. I'm trying to apply a good amount of force without it being too hard on my own hands. All right, we got that piece off. We got this piece off. Okay, so what I'm telling is this will probably come off in pieces, man, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I can remove some of it by hand. All right, guys, so I got most of the adhesive off from the back one, as you can see. Even though there's felt on this, I'm not gonna keep rubbing on this or scraping on this. I'm just gonna get some like Gooby Gone or something that's safe for paint that will remove that. Or I might just try with soap and water first, man, to be honest. I'll probably just try with soap and water first and use some, you know, a non-abrasive like shop towel or something. So let's move on to the front one, I guess. And there goes the checkered flag, guys. And there goes the Chevy symbol. All right, guys, we are back. I did find some Gooby Gone, or whatever you call it, for automotive stuff at Amazon online. So gonna run over to AutoZone in the Veloster N and the VN to pick some up real quick, and we'll finish up the badges. But that's pretty much done. And I also need it for the roof adhesive still. All right, man, first look at the suspension. Pretty simple, man, nothing too fancy. Lower control arm, upper control arm, knuckle assembly, upper ball joint. All right, so the keys are not in the ignition. The keys are over there. Let's go see if we can disconnect this battery. Starting with the negative side, obviously. And man, I can't even fit this thing in there. The head's too big. All right, man, so that's 2 terminals, and then you have the battery hold down over there. So for that, I use the 8. Use the 8 to get that out. And I'm needing an extension now to get this battery holder out. All right, guys, so it was actually a 13 to get the battery holder out. That's cool. Battery is out, and it comes right up. So you just pinch the udder and you bring it out, and here you go, man. GM's infamous udders on the C5 Corvette. Infamous, bro. And this is really what was causing my windshield wipers to go crazy, because this stuff, look how much debris and stuff is in it. It's backed up in it, and then it floods out that whole cowl area where the windshield wiper motors are, and just makes them go crazy because they're just soaked in water. Last time I checked, I don't think electronic components are supposed to be soaked in water and expect them to work the right way. So we're just gonna snake this back down like where it came from. It's a little annoying to get it down there, but it's not bad. And I'm just feeling for my hole, and I'm pinching it, and it's seated right back in there now. Feeling around, making sure it's seated the right way. And there you go, man. That's udder number 1 cleaned. Let's go to the other 3. Not hard at all, man. Put this battery back in. All right, guys, so we're gonna get these other udders real quick. But I need something that I can dump the dirt into, because we're not gonna actually remove these udders. You can just keep these ones in while you do it. If I can move some of this stuff out the way. I think I'm just gonna go with another empty trash bag, because that should fit up in there, no issue. Unlike a rigid container. All right, you guys see? 3 udders. You see stuff clogged up in them, it's gotta go. It's gotta go, man. Let's get our light back going. Try to wrap this around udder number 1. And if I miss anything, obviously I can just scoop it by hand. Man, this thing is super clogged, man. It's just all dirt in here. Bro, this is so crazy. Bro, who knows the last time these have been cleaned out, man. All right, that's 1. This is number 2, and this one looks really bad. Try to open these things up, man, so they stay open. All right, and we got the last udder here. And you see you're just squeezing it just to open it up, so that mouth open up. It's pretty wide. Make sure to squeeze on the top part of the udder too, because I just opened it up with the bottom one, and there was still a whole bunch of debris stuck in the middle portion of the udder. So you want to make sure you're squeezing, you know, you want to make sure you're opening her up, but you got to squeeze all the way through the udder as well to make sure she's free and clear. All right, man. Oh, that looks like a wrap. Uh-oh. And I'll just sweep that up, but that's all what's in your udder, man. And unfortunately, got in my screws, but it's all good. So, let me sweep that up, man, but that's pretty much it, man. Look at all that debris. That's crazy. All right, guys, we are back again from AutoZone. And we got a couple more things. We picked up some Goo Gone Automotive. And it says it's a spray gel. We also got a safe scraper with plastic on the end. And hopefully this has a little bit more of a fine blade than the other trim tools I was using to try to get more underneath the surface and all the residue that's left. And then finally, we have 3M Black Super Weatherstrip adhesive. And that is obviously for the gasket we have going on here. So I will also clean this with Goo Gone and try to get off as much as possible. And then we're gonna try to clean the rest of the decals off, try to get those as clean as possible. And we'll move on to the Weatherstrip. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. But let's start off with finishing the D-badge, man. All right, guys, whoo, back covered in sweat. And my blade is already fraying, my plastic blade, but that's how much pressure I'm putting on it to get off this stuff. The front actually surprised me. I thought this was gonna be really difficult, but as you can see, it's off now, man. Unfortunately, the badge has just been on the car for so damn long that it's actually, you know, discolored and stained the paint where the adhesive was, you know. But I guess that's to be expected after this car is so freaking old, right? Like if it was a C8 and I was taking the badges off, I'm sure that wouldn't happen. Or maybe even a C7. It might work on a C7 too. Man, I gotta get this thing washed. So that's off, that's good. You see that one. And here in the back is actually the worst. So this surface is actually flush now. Like it's completely flush and there's no abrasions on it. So that means that the paint is discolored here where the adhesive was. So will I get another badge for this eventually? Maybe. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just not really big into non-functional parts, man. So it's like, it was falling apart anyway, so it's time to come off. Done with the badges. So I'll have to decide if I want to get new emblems in the future. It'll probably be something I do at the last minute when the build is done. Like I said, man, I'm not about to prioritize aesthetics over functional parts, you know what I mean? So let's get on to the roof. So yeah, I really don't know how much of this I'm gonna be able to get off, but I don't think I'll even be able to use the scraper tool. I think I'm gonna have to use the trim tool for this one, guys. So let's start with this side. And I'm gonna try to just really spray it just in the actual channel and stuff. It's gonna be difficult, but the good thing is about this, once again, guys, is that it doesn't do any harm to your paint. Yeah, I already know I'm gonna have a lot of dripping and stuff, and basically, guys, just gonna have to see how the old adhesive is coming off. And really, so I just really want to just clean off the top, just make sure I can get a nice seal, but the adhesive really is only, man, I got a little leak, woo. The real adhesive is only in 2 places. They only really put adhesive right here where these bolts are and up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 areas. So those are the areas you want to focus on. So it shouldn't take you too long to do this, man, because it's not that much actual adhesive compared to the entire Weatherstrip. Actually, it's more of the Weatherstrip is not glued than is glued, if that makes sense. interior here as we finish up removing the rest of this weather strip. So what we're gonna do is literally just tuck this under the seat belt. All right, guys, so did my first pass. 1, 2, 3, 4 points are glued up. 4 fasteners are in, 4 bolts are in. 2 fasteners at the bottom, 2 bolts on each corner. Total of 4 bolts, total of 4 fasteners. Let's see how long this takes to actually cure vapor harmful. Yeah, that vapor was kicking, bro. Smelled crazy. And this is what I'm trying to do right now in terms of ensuring there's enough pressure by rolling up the windows and also by putting on the roof itself. All right, guys, so it's pretty difficult to squeeze the roof back on with the new weather strip, but I did get it down. So it's a pretty decent fit. It's a pretty good fit. It's just not a perfect fit. Here we go, let me grab a glove. So the best thing for this, for lubrication, what I've been told, you don't want to use WD-40. WD means water displacement, so eventually it will dry out. You want to use marine grease. Oh my God, maroon grease. Marine grease. Want to use marine grease or something that's going to stay around for as long as possible. So I don't have a gun or anything. I was just going to use my hands. Let's put this down. Let's come here. Let's talk. So one of the main culprits that binds the door, so you have a couple moving pieces, right? Like you see all these are moving pieces. Hinge, 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 hinge. So that's 4. And there actually is a little bit of grease on here still. Amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the real culprit that causes the binding, allegedly, is this little roller down here, guys. So it's gonna be hard for you guys to see, but let's get down even lower. It's right there in the back. You see how I move the door? You see how it rolls? So apparently that little wheel binds up and it rolls across these divots here in the door. And these divots, the way that it rolls, see how it rolls into a divot? Those are your different openings for your door. So you know how you can open a little bit, medium, and all the way? Those are the exact divots that allow you to do that. You can see that roller right in there, guys. So we're gonna grease all this stuff up and make sure that we have 0 binding on our C5 doors at all. Like so, guys, this isn't hard at all. It's just one of those tedious things. And again, I'm trying to get everywhere that moves, even in the back. So that's 3 down. Let me get 4 and 5, and then I'm gonna try my best to get to that roller in the back. That's the biggest culprit. And my door does click a little bit. It's just creaking in the actual door. But in terms of the movement, there's, you know, a little clicking, little noise, but nothing crazy. All right, guys, and that's it. I'm just gonna do it for the other side, but I won't bore you with doing the same exact thing. But that's it for greasing the doors. Let's get it. All right, guys, here we go. Swap out the battery. Let's see if it makes a difference at all, guys. Wow, and would you look at that? It worked. That's crazy. Battery volts 13.4. That's crazy. So it was literally the fact that I had a bad battery that I was getting steering column lock issue, man. I still got the module. I still got the bypass that I'm gonna install in the vehicle, but wow, that's crazy. So there you go, guys. I don't think I have too much more to show you about the Weatherstrip. The Weatherstrip for the most part is good. Now, I'll spray it down later and report like if there's any leaking or anything, but if you have the extra $200, man, just get the regular GM Weatherstrip, man. It's not worth it messing around with this Weatherstrip, man. It's a waste of time. Just pay a little bit extra, but like I said, I paid like $99 for this one. It's in now, the roof's on, the doors are greased, the udders are cleared out, and also too, of course, the freaking windshield wipers, man. So as you can see now, I haven't had any windshield wiper issues, man. Like knock on wood. I haven't had any issues with the windshield wipers now, and from my understanding, once again, it was really them being flooded out. Their control modules, their brains being flooded out from water backed up in those udders, filling this cowl area in front of the hood. So no issues with that, man. So we're solving problems, we're solving issues, man. And yeah, just stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. That concludes this video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And next, I think we're going to be working on clutch. I need to bleed the clutch out because my clutch is sticking a little bit. And then after that, we will move on to brake flush and do pads and rotors. So stay tuned, guys. A lot of work going on, man. A lot of things going on right here in C5 land, man.